The Tale of Ukami and Hitsuji. Written by Gutierrez. Illustrated by Nicko Tumamak. A story from the world of Bulletpunk, created by QUICCS. In an age of blood and steel, when men and machines engaged in never-ending war, lived two lovers, Ukami and Hitsuji. Ukami, the wolf commander, was a ferocious warrior and a master of the battlefield. Hitsuji, his wife, led from behind the lines as head of operations and cared for the injured and helpless. He was the sword, she was the shield, and together, they were the father and mother of the Wolf Pack, a small band of the deadliest machine killers in the land. They were feared, honored, admired, and their love was a raging fire. One day, while Ukami and his wolf pack were out on a mission, the machines discovered their village and attacked it. They rushed back to aid their friends and families, only to find utter decimation. Many were missing, and many more lay dead. Ukami searched for Hitsuji among the bodies. Through the ruins, he scoured the surrounding areas, all to no avail. "The fire of my life is gone," lamented Ukami. Yet despite the cold in his heart, the war remained, and he knew that countless lives rested on his battle-scarred hands. Many years passed, but the loss of loved ones still haunted the wolf pack. Without a home, they lived as nomad mercenaries, moving from one village to another. Their strength, though formidable, slowly whittled in the passing of unkind years, for in every warrior they would recruit, 3 others would taste death through battle or disease. After one particularly arduous mission, they encountered a secret settlement of humans, the largest they had ever seen. As they gathered supplies and treated their wounded, they met an old mechanic named Delta, whose workshop was filled with machines that were alive and well. Ukami was shocked and revolted, seeing his foes thrive in the care of men. He was about to draw his weapon when a small robot approached and called him by name. "Ukami, fire of my heart, it is I, Hitsuji." Ukami was furious. He could not believe it and thought it a cruel trick played on the grieving. But after the small robot shared details none but the two of them would know, of secrets unspoken even to the dearest of friends, his fury subsided and was replaced instead by relief and confusion. Hitsuji told of when the machines attacked their village. She led many to the fight, but was defeated and captured. As the machines took her away, she escaped but was mortally wounded in the attempt. At the brink of death, Delta's crew found her and took her to the workshop. Delta was an exceptional doctor as he was a mechanic, but even he could not heal her body. So instead, in a process only he had mastered, to save her life, Delta transferred her heart and mind to this small robot. For the first time in many long years, Ukami wept for joy. They were together at last, and the love that he thought had died was alive once again. But their reunion was cut short by the sound of alarms. A massive wave of enemy machines had discovered the settlement's long-hidden location and was about to set upon them. Ukami could have easily escaped with Hitsuji and the wolf pack, but scenes of their own village's desolation flashed quickly in his mind. He knew that a similar fate awaited hundreds of men, women, and children, unless they bared their fangs and fought like wolves. Against the overwhelming tide of enemies ahead, even with the support of fighters of the settlement, he and his wolf pack were vastly outnumbered. But perhaps they could buy time for others to evacuate, even at the cost of their own lives. Ukami called Tech 63 for extraction, then summoned the wolf pack for one last fight. With only a deep-seated sense of duty and love that needed no words, Ukami faced Hitsuji. Hand in hand, they shared a moment of silence together. Then he turned and rushed off to battle. Hitsuji watched her husband run to the distance with a sense of dread. She knew that even the valiant effort of the wolf pack would not be enough to prevent disaster from befalling the escaping civilians. Something more must be done. Her RAM-assisted mind raced. Her visual sensors scanned for anything at all that could help. Then, seeing what she was looking for, she dashed to find Delta and asked if her consciousness could be transferred to the broken-down STR-12 Romulus behind his workshop. Delta gasped and shook his head. He explained that because the war machine was not ready to hold a heart and mind, the transfer would be an excruciating process for her, one he felt cruel to even consider. But Hitsuji was adamant, and in the end, amidst explosions, falling debris, and the sounds of battle nearby, Delta began his work. Wave after wave of enemies slammed into Ukami and his wolf pack. They fought until their bones broke, until their bodies were covered in blood and oil, until they were numb to the superheated iron that cut through their flesh like ribbons. As their numbers thinned and their defensive line was pushed back, their strength waned and their hopes dimmed. Suddenly, the STR-12 Romulus blasted its way through with unbelievable firepower. It was a rare sight of machine against machine. Ukami wiped the blood off his eyes and smiled as he recognized that the war robot was controlled by none other than Hitsuji herself. With renewed spirits, the remaining wolf pack howled to the top of their voices and charged headlong into battle right behind Ukami and Hitsuji. It was the wolf pack's finest hour. For every one of the warriors that fell, 100 foes died before them. Ukami and Hitsuji fought together in a violent whirlwind of brutality never seen before or since. In the face of impossible odds, they were able to hold off the machine armada and buy enough time for Tech 63's forces to arrive, and most of all, minimize civilian casualties to a mere handful. But all these came at great cost. The place that once was a safe haven for many had been turned into a steaming ruin. Most of the wolf pack lay dead alongside the settlement's fighting force, their bodies mangled, in pieces, or turned to cinders. As for Ukami and Hitsuji, they were found lifeless in the midst of a great fire, surrounded by the smoldering corpses of their foes. It was a fitting end to two lovers, two warriors, two leaders, whose only desire was to offer their lives in service and in battle. Many will tell their tale. Many will remember them in song and story. And all will know that in life and in death, Ukami and Hitsuji were feared, honored, admired, and that their love was a raging fire that gave them warmth in a world as cold as mechanized steel. The Tale of Ukami and Hitsuji. Hey guys, thanks for listening. If you like this story and would like to know more about the Bulletpunk world of my good friend QUICCS, and maybe even buy some of the amazing toys he designed himself, check out the links in the description below. Also, don't forget to subscribe to Storyteller Manila for more stories. I read children's stories most of the time, but once in a while we have original stories from the Philippines like this one. Not to mention I wrote this, so yay! This is Gutch, and thanks a lot and see you next time!